Alright, so this morning the Vancouver Canucks, fresh off of a second round elimination, have started their end of year media availabilities. And I feel like this year more than ever, a lot of people were really anticipating what was going to be said within these interviews in regards to certain players and what's going to happen to them in the off season. And I think that after listening to it myself, there were a lot of interesting answers. You had big Nikita Zadorov, who is someone that I really want the Canucks to keep. He sounded like he really enjoyed his time in Vancouver, understands the pressure that comes with playing here, and ultimately he said he embraces it because he knows it means a lot. He also had a couple of shots at his old team, Calgary, and in the end just said that the playoff atmosphere in Vancouver really is unmatched. You also had Elias Lindholm, who talked about his time in Vancouver, said he enjoyed it, likes the group of guys along with the direction that the team is headed in, but he also really just kept his cards close to his chest, didn't really reveal much in regards to what he plans on doing in the future just yet. Said he didn't really have time to think about it because it is still really raw, which is really fair, to be honest with you. Ultimately, it's up to his agent and Patrick Allvin, so we'll see if they can get a deal done there. But Elias Lindholm is a guy that I would really like to see back in a Canucks uniform next season. But moving on now to who I feel was the main headline heading into this media availability, Elias Pettersson. A lot of people were awaiting what Elias Pettersson was going to say, because let's face it, PD did not play the best in the playoffs, and even after the All-Star break, he really just wasn't looking like himself. And it's interesting because a lot of people heading into this were almost hoping that Elias Pettersson had an injury, not because they want to see the guy hurt, obviously, but rather so they could give themselves an excuse or almost a reason as to why he was playing so poorly. And I'll admit, I felt the exact same way. I was really hoping that it was something other than just a confidence issue that was holding Elias Pettersson back to explain his lack of production down the stretch. And he revealed to the media that ever since late January, he was dealing with a knee injury, and Rick Tocchet later specified by saying it was tendonitis. And now this obviously got a huge reaction on Canucks Twitter. A lot of people were saying, no, this is just a cover-up, this is a lie. And I guess it's fair for some people to come to that conclusion because you wonder, okay, well, if he was injured back in January, why wouldn't they just rest him up for more important games down the stretch so he could fully heal up for the playoffs? And, you know, I'm sure they have their reasons. I don't know why they didn't do that, but I do think that Pettersson was actually injured because, let's be honest here, man, the guy was on pace for like 120 points before the All-Star break. Like, you don't just fall off a cliff for no reason like that. He's too skilled, and people forget how crazy he was going before that All-Star break. Driving play, he was a dominant force in the league. And, you know, he did earn himself the $11.6 million contract, which is another reason why I pray that this was an injury-related thing. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here, because this cannot happen again. We can't have this Pettersson at the start of next season, and I don't think that we will. I do think that he will bounce back. In regards to the playoffs, it's going to be interesting to see if he can bounce back if we do make it next year. I really want to see how he does when he's fully healthy, but ultimately, after watching this interview, I think it's fair to say that this was a relief. Because, yeah, tendonitis is not the most pleasant thing to have, and I don't know why they didn't rest him not even a little bit, like what they did with Lindholm, because if you remember, before the playoffs, Elias Lindholm was playing pretty poorly in the regular season, and after he recovered a little bit from his injury, he was a beast in the playoffs, and it's the reason why a lot of people want to keep him around for next year. So when it comes to Pettersson, we'll let him recover in the summer. He said he has a lot of fuel heading into next year. I want to see him back in full flight. It's going to be exciting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on what Elias Pettersson said, along with everyone else in this press interview. And yeah, man, subscribe if you're new. I'll be sure to catch you in the next one. Peace out, and take care.